point hold transpulse. When you get there, stand by. Ray will give us some words to sweeten up the station keeping.
Okay, we are point hold transpulse.
This view coming from the International.
All right, Starliner, we'll take point free, hands off.
Free, hands off.
Again, this view live from the International Space Station, and you can see Starliner still at that approximate 220 to 250 meter point. The space station and Starliner are entering into an orbital daytime, currently flying 259 statute miles over French Polynesia. Of course, we've been keeping you updated with all of the Starliner updates here in the White Flight Control Room, but my teammate Gary
and this is Mission Control Houston. Of course, we're following along every step of the way with the teams over in the next flight control room following Starliner operations. Some of the views you were seeing were of the flight director, Vincent Lacourt, speaking with Ed Van Cise, flight director over in the Starliner flight control room, coordinating on entering that keep-out sphere. We've been showing you periodic views of some of the telemetry that shows that sphere. Now, of course, once we cross that boundary, we're, of course, now in integrated operations, but that boundary needs to be carefully coordinated before pressing in and make sure it has the right fault tolerance. Outside the keep-out seed in words has been given by the teams confident enough in the configuration of Starliner with the necessary redundancies to back away if needed once inside the keep-out sphere. Lots of coordination happening on both sides before giving that call. But from the International Space Station flight control team, there is enough confidence in the configuration to go ahead and press in. And we're following along with these views from the International Space Station. Getting great views, the sun reflecting.
Starliner will take point, hold, and then point back at the target, please.
Take hold, and we will point back at the target.
Good read back.
System, which we've been talking about on Starliner, track some of the features of the International Space Station, just making sure the pointing is right, and we do have some time to figure it out. Again, there's another about 8-minute window before the crew is given the go to press inside the keep-out sphere. Now there are several milestones once we press inside the keep-out sphere to enable a docking, the window of which starts at 12:33 p.m. Central Time this afternoon. But once inside the keep-out sphere, the crew is scheduled to have a 10-meter hold point. We're not pressing in straight from the current position, just outside, just about 200, a little inside 220 meters right now from the station's forward port.
If that's okay with you, and otherwise it's good. Attitude point 3, hands are off.
S1A1 fired.
Jet fire.
Roger.
Capcom Neil Magata in the Starliner flight control room. The voice you're hearing inside Starliner is Sonny Williams, confirming that when the ground teams enable the thruster firing for that hot fire test, which had been reported to the crew.
We got a pretty good yaw rate. Let me fix this.
Negative. We're firing B1A3. Stand by.
These numbers you're hearing are the specific thrusters.
And we heard it.
Roger that.
Are targeted for these hot fire tests before proceeding into the keep-out sphere. Again, the teams are comfortable with the current configuration with some of the reaction control thrusters. In the current configuration off. However, some of these thrusters that are being fired now are part of the hot fire test to try to recover some of those, even though there is redundancy. Recovering those would just add enough redundancy or additional redundancy outside of the already go configuration. The crew reporting that they are feeling those thrusters as they are hot fired.
Okay, we'll take point hold to get us back on target track. Point hold and take us back and point us back to the target.
Okay, we'd like to do translation.
Stand by. Starliner, your go to translate back to the hold box manually. Point, hold, transpulse. When you get there, stand by. Ray will give us some words to sweeten up the station keeping.
Okay, we are point hold transpose.